Welcome back to part 2, where we're going to get up there and stuck in to sorting out some of those branches. Before we start on the branches and the top of the tree, I wanted to show you how amazing this area looks now that we've removed this big root. I've spent some time now and cleaned up around here, and I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. The shapes and the way this trunk undulates around here is absolutely fantastic. And of course it was all hidden by that big root coming out here. And I'll show you what it was like again before I put that big root in, because it's quite hard to sort of remember, although it's daft because it wasn't that long ago. But let's just put that back in for a minute. And then we'll take it away. And to me, it just looks amazing. I love the shape. We've got this little bit of a flare coming down here. So that's brilliant. Now I've decided, when I'm doing the carving, it's very tempting sometimes to go too deep, but I don't want a hole. I just wanted a dish, and I want it to kind of heel over and smooth up so that it just undulates with the rest of the trunk around here. So for this purpose, no more carving is needed. We're going to keep it as it is. And now we can carry on up. As we move up the trunk, we can see that this area gets a little bit confusing with branches crossing over the main trunk line. So now we need to simplify this area. So the first thing I do is just to go around and clean up any bits that really aren't needed and are obviously in the way. This is an old stump with some twigs growing around it, and it really does affect the flow of this branch from the trunk. It's a lovely curve going on here, and the more I prune it and declutter, it'll evolve. I used some medium-sized branch cutters and some medium-sized concave cutters just to remove most of this stump, and then I'll probably just clean it up with a gouge afterwards to sort of give that nice dish-shaped in so it can heel over quite flush. And moving on now to the next problem area was this part here, where a few branches and twigs had started to grow from the front of the bonsai and had cluttered up the viewing side. And straight away, as soon as we just cut those off, everything becomes much clearer and easier to see. Here I'm using the larger side branch cutters and a pair of large concave cutters. That'll remove most of this stump and dish it in a little bit. And then I'm going to do some carving with the gouge. Now here I'm going to go in quite a lot deeper, as I would like a hole here and not just a dish so that it heals up. So I'm going to put in some bit of character in this part of the trunk. So I'm going to hollow it in. I really like using hand tools. The gouge is a nice tool to use, and it helps me sort of just take my time and be at one with the tree. However, sometimes we just have to give in to the modern way. I have so many bonsai waiting, queuing up for repotting and pruning and more carving work as well. So I have to go with it and use one of those horrible noisy power tools. After I've removed the bulk of the wood with the power drill and auger bit, I then go in and just finish up with the gouge again, and this way I can clean it up and shape the hole and make it look a lot more natural. It will take a few years before the hole and all of the carving really is going to start to blend in and look good. The wood at the moment is still very bright white, but that will change to a dark grey colour, and that will make it look a lot more natural. The cambium layer will heal and roll into the hollowing, and that's going to look really lovely. With all of the main branches and the big root gone now, and all the carving done, there's still a few little lumps and bumps that I need to go through and just clean out, flush off a little bit. But now I'm going to move on and just get some of this pruning done. We've got some long shoots here that I need to prune back, and there's still some crisscrossing branches, but there is some lovely shapes in here, and I need to thin out some of these twigs. I'm not going to do too much more to it right now, so I'm going to do the bare minimum of pruning. Then I'm going to let it recover through the springtime, let it leaf up, let it get some strength back, and then look at it again next autumn. This is as far as I'm going to go on this bonsai for now. I've done a lot of work on it, from the roots, taking off that big root there, removing some branches from here and the hollowing out, and a bit of basic pruning through there. There is still a lot of pruning to do, but I'm going to put it outside, let it bud up and grow through the summertime, get some strength back in, and ready for this time next year when we can do the next phase of pruning out some of these overgrown, sort of twiggy and cluttered branches. I will do some close-ups so that you can see some of the fantastic shapes that there are in here. I really love this curve here. It looks absolutely beautiful, and the way this branch just meanders down like that. And we've got a few of those. The branch over here, this one is lovely as well. Some lovely shapes in there, and we've got some lovely details on the main trunk. And as I said, I will bring you in and show you some close-ups of those. Top of the tree is looking lovely. We've taken out a couple of crossing branches, but still a lot to do. But for now, it's time just to let it recover. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Lots more videos coming over the new year. So subscribe and hit the notifications button. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed it. I love working on this bonsai. I love working on them all. And so for now, take care.